Hello Divine Being, my name is Juha Riverhill and you are warmly welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to speak about something that is really hidden in the spiritual world. It's a secret. So, the topic today is the sacred relationship with your ego. Usually in the different spiritual directions and teachers are saying that you should be dying your ego. You should get rid of your ego. You should kill it away. And I think that part in the spirituality is illusion. So, like I've been saying in many other videos, is that great secret in our spiritual development is that ego is one of the key particles or greatest teacher in the human being. So why would I kill away the greatest teacher? Why would I kill away the greatest indicator to my own weaknesses? If I'm pointing out, if I'm going to want to develop in a spirituality, in a spiritual way, or if I'm going to be enlightened. So my own answer is to that no, I don't want to kill it away if I can use it, if I can make something out of it. If something is useless, leave it. If something is useful, use it. This is only English, sorry. But anyway, when we are thinking about ego, it's also wicked. But in this video I'm only concentrating on that. Think about that, what is the beneficial in ego. So, and how should I be making new kind of a relationship with my ego? Ego is something that's, like I've been saying, that is like a fire. It's really not good master. It's a dangerous one. But it's really good tool to use. If you would be a general and you have one elite soldier in your crew that would sacrifice oneself for the others, you would use that, not taking it away and saying you are too violent, don't be here. But anyway, you have a really great tool in you. And tool in that manner that our ego is really good reflecting things to us. But it's also behind it, there is an inner child. And in every one of us we have this inner child that is undeveloped, hasn't been brought up yet to the human being level. You need to grow as a human being. You need to grow first into your humanity. What means to be human? It doesn't mean those lower things or those things that are negative in our ego. But we should be growing to human being level or in the measurement of human being. And for me it means that we develop our lower self, our ego. We can develop that. And how does it start? How does it go? How can we, as a gunning, as wicked it is, how can we deal with our ego? If your ego is really strong, I would recommend that sometimes you put your ego against the wall and say, you are not going anywhere, you are going to do it and change it now. Then you need willpower, if your ego is not that developed yet. But if your ego is already in the past lives and during this lifetime have gained a lot of development, then ego is already quite mild. And it's all about that you are giving your ego space and you are saying to your ego, I let you be there. I accept you. I love you as you are. And if you don't love your ego as it is, it will start to be annoying, trying to get your attention like a pampered child. Child needs attention. Child needs caring, nurturing sometimes. Your ego, your inner child is still there, and it's still like that the little boy, little girl who hasn't been loved yet, hasn't been accepted as it is. So that's where to start. That's where you can start with your own ego, is to say to your ego, I accept you as you are. I love you as you are. I let you be like you want to be. Letting in spirituality, letting something to be as it is. Because God always lets us or anything be as it is. God is unconditional. It won't say that, okay, if you want to come to me, you have to be this and like that. No. Our divine is only saying, be who you are. I still love you as you are. And when you start to love, for example, when you start to love angry kid, if kid is angry and irritable and doing stupid things, only thing what you can do is to accept and love. Of course, you have to keep boundaries. That's another thing. Boundaries are really important to develop your inner child as well. You need to keep boundaries to yourself. You cannot do anything, just anything. Of course not. God also gives boundaries. And those boundaries are that you cannot do bad things too much. But if you do something, He gives you another chance. No matter what. No matter what you do. You are always the child of God, child of divine. You will never be abandoned, or you will never be isolated or put it into hell or something. In an early church, I'm saying I'm not speaking a lot of Bible, church or religious things, because I don't present any direction. I'm only talking about something that is in the world, and that what it is in the world is unconditional love. All religious groups and religions are coming from God in a way, and all the things that are in the world are coming from God, from divine. And when we are talking about, for example, in a Christian way, old Christianity, the early Christianity was that everything was allowed, everything was there, but nowadays church is different because it's been changed by human beings. Everybody who's been thinking about things that, for example, Jesus left in the world, they've been doing their own things and thinking about this and that and making some kind of different groups. But in a reality, what God is and what divine is, it's always unconditional. It won't keep any demands. Only demand is that if you want to get to divine, you need to love yourself. It's simple as that. When you love yourself, then you can love others. When you love yourself, you love the God, you love the divine. And if you don't love yourself, then you isolate yourself from divine. And I wouldn't want to do that, because it's up to you, up to me, if we want to be the part of the kingdom of divine. And whatever, in the spirituality, loving your ego is a one little beautiful golden key into the lock. and you can open up many doors with that same key. And when we are talking about our ego, we should be the older brother, older sister to our ego. And when we are or best friend. And what do you do to your best friend? Well, you start to respect your own friend. You listen to your friend. And when ego gets listened, it starts the development. When we are being heard, we start to develop. And when we start to develop, it means that we have been accepted. And the real spiritual growth can start. And when the real spiritual growth starts, it starts from forgiving to oneself. It starts from forgiving your God, whatever it is. In many lives we've been blocking away our divine by cursing or shouting to your creator that why did you let me have this or lose these people or whatever? Why did you let us this terrible thing to happen? And then we block the unconditional love from our lives. And no matter how we call our God. And it also means that then in the same incident you start to block your ego away. You stop loving yourself because you've been doing things that hasn't worked. You've been doing harmful things. You've been doing stupid things. And when you stop loving yourself and forgiving yourself, your development stops. It's like a stop sign and you have to break the brake pedal. And then when you start to be the best friend with your ego, and I'm saying now, if it has developed already during the lifetimes, then you can be the best friend. And when you listen to your ego, when you accept it, and when you keep also the boundaries that you need to have, then you get the respect from ego, and then it starts to listen to you. And what is the relationship between you, your ego, and you? What you? What is that you that is keeping relationship with your lower self or your ego? It's your higher self. When you start to do and act and say loving things, your heart opens up. And every time when you are accepting or saying that I'm love, I'm in my heart, and I'm listening, I'm present here and now, present to my ego, listening to my ego, then you rise up in your consciousness, in the higher self level, in the seventh layer. You start to go into the mental level where your higher self is, and then you start to connect and be one with your higher self. Then you can have conversation with your ego. You can forgive your ego, accept it and love it. Then you start to have relation. You start to create a perfect relationship or some kind of a sacred relationship with your ego. And that is some kind of a relationship that lasts lifetime. Lifetime friend, where you can either hate, kill it, or love it. You can choose. But if you choose to hate your own self, then you hate your inner child, and all the energies start to turn inwards in your chakras and in your life, and you start to isolate and block down and shut down, and you will have a blackout. And in one point, you need to start to open up again. If you choose to kill your ego, then, like I said, there might be coming like a end of the pin or a little black spot, and that little black spot gives you, let's say, a wide shadow or wide curtain that is keeping you away from the reality. And in the spirituality, if you want to develop as a human being as well, you need to have the view that has no obstacles, that has nothing in it. More that you can see like a desert, or you can see the open ocean around you. It's better. See wider, understand wider. But if you have this kind of a blockages, then you are shutting down the parts of your ego, and they are not able, or your ego is then unable to reflect those blind spots to you. Other people are also then blocked by mirroring them back to you. So then you are going like a blind person. But then when you start to love yourself, you decide that, okay, I'm choosing now to love myself, love my blind spots, love my ego as it is, my faults as they are. Then the real development starts. So, be friend and be brother or sister to your ego. Accept it, listen it. Also keep your boundaries, or keep boundaries to your lower self. Love it and learn from it. Learn from the mirroring that it gives you from other people. So the greatest teacher is living with you. The longest relationship you will have. But in the middle of all of this, stay true to your heart.